Hey there, so today we have another review, and this is part of the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp series. I believe this is actually the first one I've reviewed on the channel, maybe one of the first ones I've ever had. And so yes, this is a collaboration between Sierra Nevada and a bunch of breweries that they do every year. This one is with a really special brewery. This is with Treehouse from Munson, Massachusetts, one of the most hyped breweries, as you guys know. So this is a 7% IPA, and from what I understand, it's a sort of blend of the malts that Sierra Nevada would use for an IPA, but then the hopping that Treehouse would use. So the hops for bittering, they have Simcoe. Finishing hops, they have Citra and Mosaic. And then the malts are pale and caramel malt, so probably something, as you can see, pretty similar to something that Treehouse would use, but also some acidulated malt, which is literally malt that has acid on it, and that helps drop the pH of your mash, which is important to create a really wonderful environment for the enzymes and yeast health. So sometimes they use it for that. But by the way, if you want to know the canning, this was canned 4/28, so that puts us about almost 2 months. And so yeah, this is actually the only can I was able to pick up. It's actually really cool that they broke up the set, so I was able to pick up just the one can. But the beer comes in a deep gold color. You get a little bit of haze on there, but obviously does not look anything like a Treehouse beer. Has a little bit of like haze to it, but really nice looking beer. Let's get the aroma on this one. Yeah, you get a little bit of this wonderful like orange peel, like nice zesty oils. Maybe a little peach in there, some mango. And then there's a nice kind of like lingering kind of like pine and just, you know, even more of that kind of oily kind of note. So more of that orange and lemony oil. And there is that kind of like bready sweetness underlying it. It just has this classic kind of little bit of caramel malt behind it, reminding me that it's Sierra Nevada. Cheers. For sure. Up front, it blasts up front with that caramel sweetness, that caramel malt. It has a really clean quality. There's some breadiness in here, but there is that kind of tinge of just smack of like candied, caramelly kind of sweetness. And it even lingers on with a little bit more residual sweetness onto this kind of like piney, fresh green quality on the finish. It really does sort of remind you a little bit of the classic Sierra Nevada beers, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale and Torpedo. Yeah, there's a decent bitterness there. Even though it's only 40 IBU, there's still some bitterness there. It really reminds me of like a well-executed Sierra Nevada beer. I'm not really getting the big treehousey kind of notes in there. I will say when I had it on draft when it's fresher, it seemed to pop a little bit more for me, but I found this in a fridge. It's 2 months old. It still tastes very, very good to me. It's nice, it's all right. It's good. It tastes like Sierra Nevada beer. If anything, a really good Sierra Nevada beer. Nice and clean. It just has this kind of like, again, a little bit more progression of a West Coast style IPA. Bitterness is a little bit more restrained. Aromatics are still there. Up front, I'm still sort of getting those kind of citrusy and tropical notes. It rides with a good amount of general grapefruit flavor, so it sort of reminds you of those familiar West Coast beers. As I drink it more, there's this lingering kind of like, I guess it's a Simcoe bittering. It's dank, it's like almost earthy, and it really turns on the palate and really gives you some really nice complexity and balance from those fruity notes onto that caramel breadiness, onto this kind of like rich, lingering aftertaste. So as for rating, it's pretty nice. Let's go with an 88. 88 for me. So this is Beer Camp East Meets West IPA from Sierra Nevada / Treehouse. Until next time, guys, cheers. Let me know if you've had this beer before. Later.